I'm a big YouTuber.
Yeah, what's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to Crown TV. I am the Crown Prince, and yes, I'm extremely tired, but all things come with a price. If y'all appreciate that price, please hit the like button, hashtag Royal Fam in the comments. Let me know y'all up in here. Now, we're talking about the biggest and most important argument in this case. This is arguably the thing that is going to make or break this case, especially in the case of Ralo. Let's talk about it.
I literally cover court cases for a living. I cover the court cases for a living.
Yeah, what up, y'all? Welcome to Crown TV. I am the Crown Prince. Shout out to the Royal Fam, man. We done leveled up. We putting the petty things away. Hashtag Royal Fam in the comments if you hear me. If you want to donate to the channel and help us grow, you could do that through the Super Chat or the Cash App. Let's get it. All right, we back. And off top, let me say shout out to all the affiliates. Shout out to Zeke Black. Shout out to AGTV for the exclusive yesterday. And as always, shout out to the realest squad on the net. Hands down, the Royal Fam. Like I said, hashtag Royal Fam in the comments. Let me know y'all in here. We talking about the biggest and most important argument in this Ralo case. This argument is so important that it's been going on basically from the time that the original arrests were made till now. That's how important it is. This whole case is going to hinge on this argument, especially in the case of Ralo, like I said. Now, you got 14 defendants all challenging each and every aspect of this case. It's a beautiful thing to watch. They making the government work extra hard. I love it. But what this case is going to boil down to is the expectation of privacy on a private plane. Now, you hear rappers all the time talk about flying private, no TSA. This argument is about how private that plane is really. This is the crux of this case. So, expectation of privacy, let's break that down real quick. The most glaring example of expectation of privacy is what you have in your home. To get into your house, the police need what is called a search warrant. Now, that expectation of privacy also exists in other places. Examples would be a car or a taxi. Now, this is where it gets tricky, because in a car or a taxi, your expectation of privacy is decreased because of what they call the ready mobility of that vehicle, meaning that by the time they go get a search warrant and come back, you could have moved that car a million places and got rid of a million things. So they have a search warrant now for a car with nothing in it because you've been able to move around. Now, that right there is called the automobile exception. It is an exception to the rule of your expectation of privacy. Now, based on this exception, the police do not need a search warrant to search a vehicle. All they need is what is called probable cause. And I know everybody out there understands probable cause, so I'm not going to kill y'all with it. What makes this argument different is that the focus of the argument is a private jet. So that's why it's causing all of this discussion. Now, all of the people on the private jet, including Ralo, have all filed separate motions to suppress the evidence that was found on the jet based on this belief that they have an expectation to privacy on this plane. The judge knocked down most of these motions for the most part, not because there is not an expectation of privacy, but because the people who filed the motions were all passengers. With that being said, the government and the judge both agree that the only person who has any standing to challenge this is Ralo, because he is the person that chartered the plane. All right, y'all, we're moving through this thing swiftly. We got the biggest argument in the case, and we got Ralo in the game. Now, the feds are arguing that Ralo's expectation of privacy on that plane is the same as it would be if Ralo was in a car or a taxi. Now, Ralo's argument is that a plane and a car do not have the same mobility, even though there might be some similarities. The biggest difference is that on a plane, you cannot just drop off things. That plane is usually en route from one place to another, and they know where it's going to end up. Now, the feds say they have surveillance of Ralo and crew in California prior to both of these busts being made in Georgia. They say they followed Ralo and crew to a region of California that is notorious for growing and grow farms, and you can't get to the farms without being on a four-wheeler. They then say that Ralo and crew, they saw them loading up a plane with these packages that were wrapped as Christmas gifts. They then flew back to Georgia where they were busted. This was on two different occasions. One time they made the bust after the vehicles had unloaded the packages and drove off from the airport, and the other bus they pulled on the tarmac and caught them as they were trying to unload the plane. And now for the finale. I told y'all that Ralo's argument is that a plane and a car does not have the same mobility. They are arguing that this plane was flying from one place to another and that the feds knew 5 hours ahead of time that this plane was going to land in Georgia when they saw it being loaded in California. Now, based on their premise that this plane does not fall under this automobile exception, they are saying that the feds had 5 hours of time to get a warrant, and they did not. They searched these planes without warrants. Now, either the prosecution really believed that this plane falls under this automobile exception, or they knew that they would not be able to get a warrant, and they went and searched the plane without warrants anyway. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm going to leave y'all with 4 documents in the Band app. One is Ralo's motion to suppress. One is the government's response. One is Ralo's response to that response. And one is the testimony, a transcript of the testimony of this agent that all of this argument is based on. So I want y'all to read through that. In this testimony, this agent is being grilled by these defense attorneys. It's something you want to read. Y'all check it out. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Crown Prince. I'm going to sleep, y'all.
A Friday night at 9 o'clock, hundreds of kids who don't have to be here. You'd think this would be the last place they'd want to be. But here in Newark, they're in here because of what's out there.
Anything that keeps me off the street, I'll do. Like, besides doing anything wrong, like selling drugs and all that stuff. I'm not into that.
If I come here, I will see, like, friendly faces.
Gun violence, like, out there. They fighting, getting shot.
Inside the walls of West Side High, every Friday night until 11 p.m., it's a space free of fear. Within these walls, kids can shoot pool, play video games, hit the hardwood, practice cheers, or even lay down track in a recording studio. Within these walls, they can laugh. It's called the Lights On program, now in its 4th year, and it's open to everyone. Nadia Camacho graduated in 2008.
If it was around back then, I think that we wouldn't have lost so many of my classmates. Like, if we have a class reunion now, a lot of my classmates wouldn't be there.
I haven't lost any more kids to gun violence since we started doing the school year.
Principal Akbar Cook says you can't ignore the results. If you remember him, that's because last summer, Eyewitness News told you about a free laundry room he installed in school. Students bullied because of dirty clothes, resulting in chronic absenteeism. Principal Cook says there's been a 10% increase in daily attendance since.
I was finding out just from being a principal that the kids don't eat during the weekends.
They also serve hot meals to kids on Friday nights. During the summer, they do this 3 nights a week. It's all made possible by donations from the community and alumni. It's kind of amazing what a school can become when people care about kids who